You're watching KAPP TV, Channel 35, Yakima.
A final update on the day's top stories.
A fire tonight damages the home of a city fire chief. And just try to get a ticket to the inauguration. With just a few days left, Washington, D.C. is ready to welcome the new administration.
With news for the Great Northwest, this is Northwest Nightcast with Kevin Shaub, Jeff Simbita with sports, and the Northwest Nightcast weather team.
Good evening. I'm Kevin Shaub. Just because you're the fire chief doesn't mean it can't happen to you. Firefighters in Moxee tonight put out a fire at their boss's house. And Chief Adrian Jacobs was aboard the first fire truck that showed up at his home this evening. He and other firefighters put out the fire, which destroyed part of the attic. Other parts of the chief's home sustained smoke and water damage. The fire chief's wife was home at the time, but she got out okay. And wiring may have started this fire at the chief's house tonight. Firefighters say ashes from a wood stove started the fire in Kennewick today. Investigators say the homeowner had cleaned out his wood stove earlier in the day and put the ashes in the garage. About $30,000 in damage later, the fire was out. No one was hurt, but firefighters battling the cold had an especially hard time getting their job done. Washington State's Attorney General says no decision has been made tonight on how to spend the millions of dollars that's going to come in to settle a lawsuit of alleged gasoline price fixing. Today, Ken Eikenberry announced the out-of-court settlement involving three of the nation's largest oil companies. They have agreed to pay $77 million to settle the suit filed in 1977. That suit accused Chevron, Mobil, and Shell of contriving a gas shortage and raising the prices.
What it means, I think, to the commuters is that the prices are lower than they would have been without the competition that we have forced back into the marketplace.
7 other major oil companies were originally named in this suit. Those companies settled out of court, agreeing to pay more than $74 million. In addition to the cash payments, the 3 oil companies will give $12 million in coupons available to businesses. The coupons will be used to buy gas. Nordstrom has settled a lawsuit and is going to give back pay to its salespeople for past overtime. Now, the amount of payments hasn't been determined yet, but Nordstrom says the $15 million it has set aside should cover it. Nordstrom has also agreed to pay the $7 million in attorney's fees racked up by the United Food and Commercial Workers Union. A judge has ruled a Yakima woman's murder confession can be used as evidence in her upcoming trial. Christine Varness's attorney has argued that the woman wasn't read her rights before she confessed to police about her mother's murder. But the judge this afternoon ruled the confession is admissible. Varness was arrested for killing her mother, Lois Heisman, 2 years ago. The woman's dismembered body was found last year in a storage locker. It had been sealed in cement. An Oregon congressman says the Hanford Reservation is breaking the law in the way it watches over its radioactive waste. Ron Wyden says his proof is right there in a report from the State Ecology Department. The Department of Energy, however, says its proof is right there in its record. Tom Brock has more on this.
The Department of Energy says it has regularly reported to Congress since June of 1991 and has always made tank safety issues immediately available to Washington and Oregon State. That's one reason why Hanford manager John Wagner says he's at a loss to find out what part of federal law Hanford is not complying with.
What I can only ask for is that people evaluate the factual information that is available.
We have addressed, within the capabilities of these old tanks that John described, every provision of the Wyden bill. We did identify those tanks that had potential safety risks. We have worked very diligently to improve the monitoring capability.
But a spokesman for Washington's Department of Ecology says their agency's investigation has uncovered a broad range of deficiencies.
We have to go out and take a look at those tank farms and see what needs to be done. When we put it into this report, it's merely stating that, yes, the state has taken a position on these tank farms. We do feel that there is a need to get better leak detection and monitoring and operations out there with those farms.
I am concerned that the regulatory agency, the Department of Ecology, that is following what we're doing every day, that this may indicate that they are not fully up to speed on what's happening and that they have concerns that they haven't previously shared with us.
The Department of Energy took the opportunity to again stress that it's worker safety that is foremost in the agency's mind. State regulators say all that concern about the interior of the storage tanks is fine, but they say that they also wanted to monitor what is leaking and when. Tom Brock for Northwest Nightcast.
A restaurant along the Columbia River has been forced out of business, at least for a few days. The Quality Inn on Clover Island has sprung a leak in its wastewater system. Hotel management says seepage has been found on the 4th floor, but they're still looking for the actual leak. So until that waste leak is found and stopped, the restaurant and the lounge can't very well serve its patrons, so it'll be closed. Well, the snowplows have been able to clear most of the streets, but what about the sidewalks? Many cities throughout the Northwest are finding that their sidewalks are now hard to find, now that the snow has been bulldozed off the roads. For many pedestrians, this has posed a problem.
There's two little tiny ones down here trying to walk on top of the snow, and it's not working very well. It scares me because what if they fall in? No one's going to know. And it's like that one little girl down there is probably over her head.
Most of the people on this side got their sidewalks cleared, but over there it's almost all piled up.
In Spokane, schools are telling parents that they may want to drive their kids to school if the snow is just too much for them. And if you have a sidewalk in front of your home, you could be fined if you don't keep it clear of the snow. If Saddam Hussein is trying to find out just how far he can push the United Nations Security Council, he could get an answer pretty soon. We'll have the latest on Iraq's return to Kuwait later tonight on Northwest Nightcast. And Washington, D.C. is trying to get the last-minute planning in order before the new administration shows up for Inauguration Day. Right now with the forecast, here's Steve Monk.
Is there any hope for sunshine as we look towards the middle of the week? I'll let you know after we take a look at the current conditions around here.
What happens when hot and cool connect?
Hot eats, cool treats at Dairy Queen.
It's the Nights Are Wild 99-cent sale. Get a Blizzard flavor treat, 99 cents. Or a home-style burger with lettuce and tomato, 99 cents. Or 2 hot dogs, just 99 cents. 9's are
Wow. Hot eats, cool treats. We treat you right.
25 years of personalities on Donahue.
Are you going to leave the Tonight Show? I'll probably stay with it for a couple of years. You're the Johnny Carson of evangelism.
I would rather think of myself as the Phil Donahue of evangelism.
Well, you are really fascinating.
Whoever is the woman in your life is very lucky.
I go out with women my age, but there are no women my age.
What a dump.
Did you sleep with Madonna?
Donahue, weekday mornings on KAPP 35 at 9 a.m.
Inside Edition is so real you can feel it.
Bill O'Reilly, experienced network anchor.
We go in, we get the story, we get the truth. That's why we're here.
Bill O'Reilly, investigative reporter.
We want to put you in the eye of the storm, inside the story. You want investigative reporting? Look inside. You want stories from the heart? Look inside. You want stories about real people doing extraordinary things? Look inside.
Bill O'Reilly, Inside Edition.
Inside Edition, weeknights at 6:30 on KAPP 35.
Lots of clouds and a few snowflakes out there on this Monday. As we look towards Tuesday, we probably will lose some of the cloud cover, definitely the snowflakes, and hopefully some sunshine will appear. There's the latest satellite shot. You can see what we have is high pressure up over the Canadian provinces, and that's keeping a lid on the clouds as they try to move up to the north, but of course that doesn't do much good if you're sitting in Yakima or there in downtown Richland somewhere. A lot of low clouds and overcasts around southern Washington, and that looks like that'll pretty much be the case overnight. Although these clouds have been coming and going, there seems to be one little surge of cloud cover here that'll be a little more intensified, probably keeping the clouds in for much of the evening. Few snow flurries possible out there. With the clouds, The lows won't be as cold as they otherwise would be, but still plenty cold enough. We'll see those lows in both Yakima and the Tri-Cities down into the single digits. And if it were to clear out for very long, down towards freezing we go. Highs Tuesday, a lot like today, mostly in the 20s then, with 30s possible up around the Wenatchee area and then over into the western side of the state. We'll take a look at those satellites over the past 24 hours, and you can see where the clouds are coming from. Upper level low, it's a weak one in the offshore waters, but this thing is getting a hold of that counterclockwise flow and keeping that low overcast right over the top of the Yakima Valley and the Tri-Cities. It can't go any farther north because of high pressure, Arctic high, sitting up over British Columbia. The weather charts over the next 48 hours keep this low in the offshore waters, basically continuing to bring in some of that low overcast at times. So I think we'll see partly sunny skies, but lots of bands of clouds moving through at times. Most of the weather will be going down into California. Long about Thursday, Friday, it looks like this whole mess moves inland. We could see a little bit of light snow on Friday. Let's take a look at our specific forecast then for the Yakima Valley on this Monday night. And we will see that the clouds are going to be ruling the skies over the valley with a few isolated snow showers. Key word there is isolated. 8 degrees, well, that's not going to be isolated. That's going to be widespread, a little warmer down around the sunny side area. Tomorrow it looks like clouds and fogs for much of the day, but I think we'll see some sunshine, particularly in the afternoon. 20 are high in the valley. Over into the Tri-Cities, mostly cloudy, a few snow flurries possible, 6. They're in the Kennewick area, and low clouds and fog tomorrow, but I think we'll see some sunshine again. But Kevin, a chance of a few flurries floating around out there Wednesday looks a little better.
Okay, Daryl, we'll wait for that sunshine, and I'll believe it when I see it. Well, with the inauguration of President-elect Bill Clinton just about a week away, Washington, D.C. is in big demand. But don't try to get a ticket for this inauguration. It's sold out. Andy Field reports on the last-minute preparations for this inauguration.
Bill, here is that request. Okay, thank you.
They're spending so much time juggling inaugural tickets in Congressman Elliot Engel's office that there's little time left for anything else. They've just received the hottest tickets in town. Front row, stand...